Immersion of Olson by Pastor Tim Baglian.
Author's disclaimer. The following poem represents fictitious situations with fictitious characters. Any resemblance to any real situations of people is entirely coincidental with the fact that there are many crazy Norwegian Lutherans who do crazy things, many of whom bear the name of Ole Olson or Sven Svensson, far too many. It does not mean it was these guys here. The following baptism depicted does not reflect the author's theology or practice for the sacrament, nor does the barroom scene reflect his views on the proper and improper use of alcohol. No actual Norwegians were harmed in the making of this video, though it did give the Norwegian author of it a few weird dreams.
Closed captioning for the Nordically impaired has been provided by the sons and daughters of the Northern Dim Light Societies, other bogus and fictitious sponsors, and by pseudo-viewers like you.
There are strange things done by Lutheran, the ones who live by grace, though usually mild, they will take paths wild, that even angels dare not face. They will do some odd stuff that really gets rough. But the oddest that's ever been done was at the Holiday Inn in the Hotel Eisbeen, where I baptized Ole Olson. Now, Ole's roots were in Duluth, where the cold winds drift the snow. Why he left his home in the north to roam round Las Vegas, Lord only knows. He was always too hot, but the land of slots seemed to hold him like a spiel. Though he'd often say in his Norske way that it was like a sauna that was stoked too well. On Independence Day we were making our way down the famous Golden Strip. Talk about heat, the soles of our feet were flash frying with every step. For the tanned and the young, it could still be quite fun, but for fair Ole there was no escape. There his skin was exposed like the tip of his nose. He burned and peeled like a rotten grape. Later that night, under bright neon lights, Ole peeled, and he peeled some more. And some more. And some more. By the way that he groaned in terrible moans, you could tell he was really quite sore. He turned to me, and Sven, says he, I'll cash in my chips this trip. But if I do, I'm hoping that you won't refuse me one blessed dip. Well, he seemed so low, I couldn't say no. Then he spoke on, and his voice was grim. It's this gosh-awful heat that's gotten me beat, that explains the state I'm in. But it ain't dying now, why I'm having a cow, but the even hotter flames of hell that I dread. But before I'm skunked, I'm hoping you're dunk and baptize me from toe to head. Well, a pal's last request is an obligation, I guess, and a Norske friend is true. But I had to ask if I'd take on this task. Why, he thought a sprinkling wouldn't do. He said maybe for you, but I'm a sinner through and through. I won't get by with just a splash. If I don't go under, I will always wonder and fear that my arse will be ash. Well, I had to think, so I had a drink, and I thought, and I drank some more. Though our beer was good, I thought we should leave while we could still find the door. Down the streets we did stumble, and Ole did grumble. He thought we would be too late. But I swore to him, before his lights went dim, I would see him in blessed estate. To the hotel we were late, so the swimming pool gate was locked and it was chained. Then we couldn't go in to drown his sin. Poor Ole went almost insane. But down the hall I heard ice fall, and I thought, what could this mean? So I raised my eyes, and to my surprise, I saw an ice machine. Now I thought a bit about how ice cubes are wet, and I looked at my charbroiled friend. Though the icebox was small, Ole's really not tall, just maybe he'd fit in. It wasn't quite kosher, and Ole said, "No, sir." But invention comes from desperate font. He tried backing away, but I convinced him to stay, for I had found my baptismal font. What he said was not nice, as I dropped him in ice. But head first in event, I said the Our Father, as I pushed him in further, and saw how strangely he bent. To make him fit, I had to shove a bit, but against the lid he was stuck. So while I pounded hard to rearrange his lard, at that moment we had some hard luck. The lid it did slam, and the latch it did jam, so that poor Ole was trapped within. It looked pretty bad, and Ole was mad, but I said, "Now let us begin." Well, in the name of the Father, was really a bother to be heard over Ole's shouts. By the name of the Son, he still wasn't done, as he tried to bang his way out. By the name of the Spirit, I'm not sure he'd hear it, for his language had gotten quite vile. But the immersion was done, and salvation was fun, so I thought, let him cool down a while. By the very next day I found my way to where my pal was hid. With a screwdriver I found that was lying around, I levered up the lid. Now Ole was froze in an unusual pose. His expression was hard to read, but by the glow in his eyes I had to surmise we had fulfilled his heavenly need. Though the ice was thin that covered his skin, it was still a true immersion. So I bowed my head for the prayer I said, in thanks for Ole's salvation. He was a solid ice block, but his lips still unlocked, to shout, "Shut the lid, ya fool! Since I made my way from Superior Bay, this is the first time I've been cool." There are strange things done by Lutheran, the ones who live by grace. Though usually mild, they will take paths wild that even angels dare not face. They will do some odd stuff that really gets rough, but the oddest that's ever been done was at the Holiday Inn in the Hotel Ice Bin, where I baptized Ole Olson.